Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank Thee your name. Your infinite blessing will mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enhancement of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. All together, Amen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be a moderator for this webinar. I am Cindy Ruth Villariza, and I would like to greet everyone a lovely Saturday afternoon and welcome to today's Dr. Mariano Lau webinar, 9th series on online distance teaching learning, which will be focused on using search engine more effectively. We appreciate your time. Take off your busy schedule to join us today. To begin with this program, we are pleased to have Dr. Dave E. Marshall, the project leader of Dr. Mariano Lau Innovation, Creation, and Invention. Dr. Dave?
Good afternoon, everyone, and mabuhay. And thank you for joining us. I would like to welcome our, shall I say, early bird to post the greetings. To hi to Dr. Rifugio. Sir, thank you for joining us. And our colleagues from Angeles City, Pampanga, from Bacolod City, Negros Occidental, Candoni, from San Carlos City. We also have our friends from Iloilo and many other from the different universities and colleges in the Philippines. Of course, I would like to welcome and greet our colleagues in Silliman University, especially our librarians who are here, I think giving support to our expert for this afternoon. And of course, hi to our Office of Instruction Director, Dr. Beulah Rose Torres. Ma'am, you are really completing a perfect attendance for our webinar. Welcome to the 9th webinar series of Dr. Mariano Lau webinar series on online teaching and learning. I am so happy that we are on the 9th webinar and you are here attending us in this afternoon session. And I think many of us, many universities are already on maybe second week, third week, or first week of the classes, and hoping that everything is in place as far as the online distance learning is concerned. As we all know, this webinar is designed to equip us teachers in this new modality, in this new normal of teaching and learning. This afternoon's webinar is about making more or using search engines more effectively. They said our best friend for our universal best friend in today's world, or especially in this new normal, as they said, Google is our new best friend. Accordingly, the ability to search for information online is one of the most important literacy skills that every one of us teachers should possess. Yes, Google is there, different search engines are available for all of us, but the most important thing there is how are we going to search relevant, appropriate, and most useful and applicable information in our teaching and learning. For this afternoon, we are inviting two experts, colleagues of ours in this advocacy of teaching and learning. We invited two. The first part will talk about generally the search engines and its technicalities, and our second speaker will talk about what type of information, where to find relevant information, and what are some criteria in finding a relevant information useful for our teaching and learning resources. Without further ado, let me introduce to you our first speaker for this afternoon. Our first speaker is a teacher, of course, and a very active member of professional organizations such as the Philippine Society for IT Educators, Internet Society, a Microsoft education ambassador, and a freelance systems developer and trainer, a former IT internal auditor, and currently the head of the IT support of the College of Business Administration of Silliman University. And presently, he is a program coordinator of the Business Analytics program of Silliman University, specifically at the College of Business Administration. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce to you my kumpare and a friend and a colleague in the university, Assistant Professor Larry Vincent Regencia. Sir?
Thank you so much, Sir Dave, for that very, very, uh, should I say, informative and complete introduction. So, good afternoon, everyone. And I just would like to thank everyone also from different places who are joining us today. And I am very happy that you're able to participate on a Saturday. So my topic for today will be about search. I believe everyone is very familiar with search engines uh, already, and most specifically Google search. And it's no question that we are very uh, taking advantage of Google search, considering that it is way at par with other search engines. But nevertheless, I'll be introducing to you some ways in which to really see if are we really using our search engines? Are we really searching it more effectively? So that's going to be our topic today. So just a little bit of our content. We're a little bit of search history, some top search engines, Google versus Bing. Although I will not discuss between its competition, I will just share something a little bit. And then we'll have some search demo. So I'll be switching between my presentation and my browser, and some questions also later on. So when we talk about search, you can imagine that it has really changed the way we search information today, especially since the arrival of search engines. The moment that we were able to have the internet at home, at school, we have been reliant on it. And mind you, of course, librarians perhaps would disagree that search engines, of course, will not answer all our questions. And with that one, we still have the search engines is not yet totally a perfect system. There are still areas that it has not covered yet, but nevertheless, most of the things that we need are there. So if you're going to look at a little bit of the history, if there was no Google back then, how would our search engine look like today? So basically, this is how it's going to look like, or before it looks like this one. So some people would refer to this one as before Google and after Google. So many of us has relied on this technology at the comfort of our home, searching for whatever information we want to. And this is totally contrasting to what we have experienced around 20 years ago or so, wherein we have to go to the library and fall in line. There's even those index cards in the absence of an OPAC. But nevertheless, that was the past, and we learned so much from it. And today we embrace the technology we have. So we learn from it, use it effectively, and just like a search engine, we have this tool already for quite some time. But now we don't really take advantage on on maximizing its search capability because there's really so much power into these tools that we have right now. So of all those search engine, Google arrived sometime in 1998, and with just a very simple page. And from then, it revolutionized how we search information. So just want to share with you the top 10 search engines last year. As you can see, Google is on the top spot. Well, it's not just on the top spot, but it's actually the dominant one across the list. And as you can see, even for the next 5 to 10 years, I don't think this list, especially the number one search engine, would be replaced sooner or later. Of course, some of these search engines may not be familiar with you. Bing, Yahoo may be familiar to us. Baidu is popular in China. I think Yandex is in Russia. DuckDuckGo has been in a rising search engine because they are advocating in terms of privacy. So this is one of those search engines that doesn't want to track your search activities. Then some other search engines, which in fact, I am not very familiar with. Of course, Ecosia is there, Shenma and Naver. So those are some of our top 10 rather search engines last year. And here, I'm not going to share to you the competition between Google and Bing, but I want to share to you a little bit of the mission statement that they have. So during the creation of Google, this was the mission statement by Larry Page and Sergey Brin to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And that is, they were still creating it from the garage, and now they have the Googleplex. So Google, by the way, just turned 20 years, 2 years ago, so they are now around 22 years old. At the same time, I want to share also Bing's mission statement. I know these two are really competing with each other. So Bing's mission has been to empower people through knowledge, and together we brought that mission to life by helping to bring brands and people closer together through meaningful connections that are trusted, intelligent, and empowering. So basically, the capability of the power of search today is actually between these two. And mind you, the Yahoo search algorithm is actually based on Bing already. We just didn't know that. All right, so the power of search. So I do not want to be biased actually because the topic is actually effectively using search engines, but I cannot avoid the fact that most of us, all our participants are actually using Google as their primary search engine. But nevertheless, I will share to you some of the features and in fact, some of the search terms that are actually very much similar across different search engines. So if you have noticed here, Google has already expanded its search capability as compared in the past. We have now several options on which we can even search from videos, books, images, news, maps, shopping, flights, finance, and a lot more. So these are just one of those areas where we can have plenty of information to look after. Now, if we are going to look at the search engine, specifically in Google, there are already some common search elements that you might be familiar with. And these are autocomplete. If you notice that one, when we type something on Google, it suggests some words. The algorithm behind the search engine is actually quite powerful because it is not only thinking of what we want to type, but it's also trying to guess what we are thinking. As you can see, their algorithm has been quite powerful, considering that it is able to return a lot of very relevant information. Voice search, we have that. Next, previous page. Then we have the result types, codes for phrases, capitalization, special characters, word order, and image search. So these are just some of the common elements that has been existent for quite some time already. Now, I have to admit that one of the most important consideration when we search information online is not being too reliant on the search engine itself. Uh, because one of the things I notice, we only type right away whatever we want in the search box. And when we try to dig in the information, it will take us time to look for that specific information that we are actually looking after, because we have a lot of results. Just imagine Google returns actually millions of pages, and we don't even reach up to page number 5. First 2 to 3 pages only. That's where our information can be retrieved. But we could even make it more effective later on. Another thing that Google is actually offering, but not very popular, that they are letting it known to the public, is that using the search operators. So if you want your search to be more specific, direct, and should I say precise, using search operators is one of the key wherein you can focus your search. So, but before I proceed any further, I just want to emphasize on the search settings, because this also has some impact in terms of the return results from for every search that you make. If you notice, if you have a Google account, we are connected to several other services. And the reason I also want to emphasize is that our kids, especially those who have kids who are doing online classes, and of course, searching online is not going to be unavoidable. Now, one of the things that Google is advocating into is a safe search uh, engine. So one of the things that you might want to set in the browser or in your account is to make sure that the safe search is on, so that it will filter out potentially offensive content. So that's one consideration that you might want to make sure it's on. Of course, the other settings, private results, if you notice, the more we search and the more our search activity is actually being tracked, Google is able to analyze that one and gives us a more relevant search result based on our previous search activities. So search activity can be disabled if you don't like. And of course, region settings usually set automatically by Google based on where we are located. So you can see this one in your search settings. So this is one of the things that I always consider, because I have a daughter also who is doing online classes, and just to be safe, I want to turn this on. All right, so we now go to the search operator. So one of the things that I have encountered when searching for something online is, again, using search operators. So we want to make sure that the results that are returned are actually very relevant to us. So let's take, for example, the quotes here. So in this case, if you're going to search at the win rows, this is actually a poem, the part of a poem. And then just to compare between the use of the quotes between these two screenshots that I have, if we don't place the quotes, the double quotes on our text or our search keyword, the result is actually different. It is not very specific. But if we add double quotes on it, it returns to us a very specific line of that poem by Philip Larkin. And in fact, you can even add the author of that poem. So let me just try it here. At the wind rose. So the result is totally different if you are going to add the quotes. So this alone is actually very effective. And in fact, you might be wondering, because navigating to a lot of results is really time consuming, and why not be more specific on your search keywords? So that is one feature already. Another one is using the or the pipe. We call this one the pipe operator. So for example, we are searching for climate change. Now, if you notice, the word climate change is very much, should I say, related to global warming as well. So there's actually a difference between using the or operator. So let's just try, for example, climate change. That's going to be the result. And what if we add the or, uh, global warming? So we have more specific results considering that we are looking at, we're adding the or, because we're trying to relate that climate change is actually pretty much similar to global warming as well. And then another one is, let's say, for example, you want to omit some words that you don't want, you want to exclude in your result uh, pages. So using the minus symbol is actually the key to it. So try searching apple. So, well, you don't want that the fruit will appear on your search. So if you're going to do that one, apple minus fruit, meaning to say you want to exclude any related searches on apple that is not fruit. Okay, I mean that is fruit. So you want to exclude. So basically, what will appear here are all those apple keyword that is not related to a fruit, but all related to Apple as the company. Let's try another one. Uh, bass competition. So let's try that. Bass competition. Bass could mean also a fish, right? So we don't want the fish results to be coming out. So we just combine. Uh, what did I add in there? Give me a second. Speaker. Also the bass speaker could also, it could mean that one as well. So by using the minus symbol, it excludes those terms. So that's getting it to be more specific. So getting more specific on your search results. Now, what if you want to omit also news? Let's say, for example, you do not want to come out search results for a particular news item coming from a particular website. You can actually try to limit on that one. So what would be a good news article? Let's say, for example, Donald Trump minus CNN. So it will try to avoid any search results coming from CNN if you are going to add Donald Trump minus CNN in your search keyword. So that is actually very handy, especially if you want to avoid, let's say, for example, results coming from this website. So you can just specify one particular operator for it. Another one is using the asterisk symbol. So the asterisk symbol is intended for missing words. So let's give this a try. So if I search for a little philosophy, it brings me a lot of these things. But because I forgot something, it could be something about a little, it was actually a book perhaps. So I added the asterisk symbol. Then it brings me more choices. So it could probably a little history of philosophy book that I am searching. So that would actually help. Let's say, for example, let's try something else. Let's see that one. May the force be with you. So just in case you forgot the force, you can replace it with an asterisk. In that way, it could give you several options as well. Another one is searching within a single site. So this site keyword or the site operator allows you to narrow your search based on a specified site together with your search keyword. So for example, I want to look for business computer applications within the university URL. So when I say site, then I type stu.edu.ph, business computer applications. It will give me specific lists or results relating only to that website. So that is really very handy compared to just searching the word itself, like that, business computer applications. It gives me that's actually billion results. So that's not going to help me. And being more specific, so anything that is relevant to the site that you have specified, it will match to that corresponding keyword that you have included. So you can do this one to any website that you want. So let's say, for example, you're searching for something, then you just want that the results will be coming in from this website. You can do that one. Now, you can also reverse this one. Let's say, for example, you place the keyword first and then the site plus the URL. And basically, it gives you the same results. So that's how it works. Another one is, let's say, for example, you're searching for something and you want only a specific site. Let's just say you want the results to be coming from an academic websites. So all you have to do is specify the domain. So let's say .edu, and it will bring all those courses related to business computer applications coming from various educational websites. And we are now filtering unnecessary or probably commercial results, and that's really helpful. And in fact, you can also specify by country domain. So that PH, that Germany, that DE, or whatever country you want to gather information. Now, finding pages that are similar or related to a link. I'm not sure if you have tried this one, but this is actually something that is actually very useful. So you might, this also leads to some of the websites that you may not have known before. So let's say, for example, I want something that is related, that is not Google. Okay, so it gives you a different list of search engines, basically. Now, what if I want something that is not Facebook, but related to Facebook? So there you have it. There are several options that is not related to Facebook, especially on social media. And take note of the result numbers. Just look at that one, 18 results. Now, if you're going to search for something that is, let's just say, not related to facebook.com, it will give you 20, how much is that? 25 billion results. So that is totally a lot of results. So related, colon, the name of the website that you want to look for. So you might not have even seen a Google returning just 18 results, right? So something for a keyword is very common. So that is really very, very innovative. Then another one would be, yeah, so that is just something that you might want to try as well. Using the link. So the link operator gives you any results or pages that is linked to the link that you have specified. So if you search for something, you want those links to be returned specifically. In this case, Silliman website. So you can use the link colon stu.edu.ph or link.facebook.com, so, or whatever option you might have. Another one, I think this is very popular for most of us and very common. using the define keyword. So many of us have tried this one, I believe. So let's say, for example, we want to look for a definition of the word. The best way to look for a meaning of a word is to indicate the define keyword, define colon, and then specifically, let's say human, define human. And what it returns is actually a dictionary. So the result here that is being returned is specific to a dictionary form of result, wherein you have even the pronunciation of the word, the adjective, noun, or whatever related dictionary terms that we could be that our regular dictionary could offer. So that is very important to search as well. Now, another thing that you might be interested in is searching for images. Uh, Image search has been very popular nowadays, considering that, you know, when we make presentations, we just look it up on Google. But what if you want to search for something that is quite specific? You can actually do a lot of these search. Let's say, for example, let's try to search for what would be a good thing to search for. Let's say Jaguar. Okay. So if you go to images, or let's just say, let me go directly to images.google.com. In this case, by the way, if you can see there, there's already a camera icon. This has been made easier for Google to search images. Aside from that, you can also do a voice search. In fact, you can actually use the voice search within your phone. And if you have those devices in the house, like Google Home, you can also talk or do a search using your Google Home devices. Now, in this case, let's say, for example, I want to search for a jaguar. Okay, but not the animal, not the car, and not the, I think there's also an aircraft, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, I just want to look for a jaguar that is the animal. So that actually helps me narrow down my results, my search results specific to the animal that I am looking. So you can actually combine the search separators if you need to. So for example, okay, aside from having that one, you can also upload a specific picture if you want to, or you might want to, let's say, look for an image and then just paste the URL in here. Let me try that one. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Just 1 second. Oh, I can't think of a word, a beautiful thing to search. Sorry. Let's see. DOH, COVID-19, or let's say, let me just try that one, the Jaguar again. Let me try images.google.com, and then Jaguar minus car minus aircraft. And then, for example, let's say, for example, you have an image. You can look for, you can copy the image address. And then if you go to Google Images, you paste the URL here. Okay. I hope this one is going to work. Nope, that's not the URL. Normally, the URL that you should be expecting is the one that gives you a more specific location. Let me try this one. Copy the link address. It should be the image address. Because if you do not have the link that contains the file itself, like the JPEG, it doesn't actually gives you a clear result. So let me try something else. Copy image address. Or you can also do search Google for image. So basically, it locates that specific image online. Now, if this particular image has been used across different websites, you will be able to identify that one. So I'm actually afraid to use my face to search on this one, but you can try it for yourself later. Okay. So yeah, you can upload a picture and then try to search your picture in Google. That's a little scary, don't you think? Okay, but that's the power of Google search already. And not only that, Bing is also doing the same thing. So another one is, have you noticed searching and then your your search results are actually quite old already. For example, I was searching earlier on elephants, but these elephants are still on 2018. Now, when you click on tools, it actually gives you an option here at the bottom. I am not sure if you're using that one, but let me demonstrate it to you. So let's say elephant. Let's go to all. Now, it doesn't come out automatically by default, but when you click on tools, you see the tools, it gives you these two options and it allows you to specify which results that you are looking after. Have you noticed that one? You might try searching, but this result is very old. But what if you want to see results that are coming from this year or last month or last week, something like that? So that is actually something that will bring you to this one. You see the results one day, 9 hours ago, 2 days ago, and that is really very useful. So yeah, I hope you are able to appreciate that one because I really did appreciate that this capability, especially if some of you teaching programming. Let's just say, for example, your search here is my Python want, let's say, compile. Okay, it anytime if this has been set anytime, let's say the result there starts in 2017 and that is already 3 years ago. Now just imagine Python 3 years ago is already a different version from today. So you want to make sure that the answers that you're looking for would be something relevant also to the version of Python that you're using today. So go to tools anytime, probably past month or the past year at least. So it gives you a much more recent way or probably answers to your specific question. All right, let's move forward. I think we are really we only have very limited time, but I believe you can explore more on this one at your own. Searching for cached version of a URL. So I'm not sure if you have noticed this one. You're trying to search a particular website. You know it was existent 5 years ago or 3 years ago, but then suddenly it is no longer existent today. Google actually cache all version of websites that are indexed in their database, and then it allows you to look at the search copy. I mean, not the search copy, the cache copy of that particular website. Although I cannot think of a particular topic that has not been existent in the past already, or a particular website, but that's the purpose of this particular keyword. But it gives you also one thing that you will notice for the cache is that you might see this small drop down icon at the end of the URL. So meaning to say, this is what it meant when it's cache. Okay, so it tells you whether you have the option for the cache or something similar. So that's how it would go. Okay, there are other Google search operators that, of course, may take us a lot of time to go over if we are going to cover all of them. But those I have discussed, I think, are most relevant to us. But there are still others that are quite more specific. So let's just say, for example, all in title, So colon, let's say computer help, it is going to look for your particular search based on the web page title, okay, of the particular website. So it matches specifically on the title of the website. That's the purpose of this keyword. All in text. So for every page that or for every website that is being built online, they normally have meta tags or text descriptions that Google or search engine would be able to pick them up. So this is one way also for them to utilize some of the, or should I say, the more popular way of looking at this one is the hashtag. So the hashtag is something similar in terms of the Google search index. So if something similar is actually picked up in terms of the keyword, it will appear on your search result. Of course, if you also pay for Google Ads, that is also the easiest way to make your page appear on the very first page in Google search results. Then in title, the same also. So let's say, for example, this one in title, if you search for Apple rumors, it gives you a different results. Now, what if you use in title colon Apple rumors? So it gives you those things that are, should I say, rumors about the next product Apple is releasing, something like that. So it gives you those kind of things. Now, take note, by the way, not to forget to change this back, this part here, because you might be noticing, oh, you might be wondering, why is my results not showing all? So you have to change it back to the original one. Now, using location as well. Location keyword, a lot of these keywords are really not familiar to us because we only probably encountered this by accident. But I think the way Google wants us to make use of search is just, you just want us to search anything. But of course, there are ways, for example, so if you search for bridges in the Philippines or bridges in the Philippines, uh, more or less the result would be the same if you search for bridges and then specific location. So let's say Philippines. So it gives you more specific location. So let's say, for example, some other countries, let's say Covered Bridge, Vermont. So yep, those kind of things would also come out. So being more specific actually narrows your research results. All right, so another important one is the use of file type. So in this case, I'm searching for a file, a PDF file within a particular website. So all I have to do is combine cite, the name of the website, and then the corresponding file type, which is a PDF file or a PPT, whatever file type you are actually searching. Now, there are other powerful features of Google search as well, and we cannot just cover all of them. And one thing that is actually very much capable in here is that uh, Google is also very much capable in terms of calculator, conversion, identifying local time zones, and of course, mathematical calculations, even quadratic formulas. He can answer that one. And your questions probably on your online or your online problems, or for those who are teaching math, they will just simply search it on Google. And there's actually many more. There's so many services that Google is able to offer. Now, you may not have tried advanced search, but all those things that I have discussed are actually available in the advanced search of Google. So if I know some of you may not be realizing this one, but the advanced search capability are actually the ones that I have mentioned earlier. The numbers ranging, you can actually specify that one with double dot, two dot notation. So you want to specify a range. It could be a year, a price. You can do that one. Of course, other Google services, there's so much more that you might want to explore on your own. All right, now so much for Google. Now, what about the Bing search? Okay, you might not have tried Bing, but I actually like Bing search, to be honest with you, because I really want to try something else. But of course, there will be at some point that your search result is not what you wanted. That's why I go back to Google again. But out of respect to Bing search, they have actually improved over time. Okay. They used to be the live search before, which is, of course, this is owned by Microsoft. It was called live search, but now it's called Bing search, and they have actually improved. Now, the Bing search operators work similar with Google search operators. So if you notice some of those codes, the OR, the cite, file type, they are very, very much the same. And it's something that you might also want to try on your own. Bing search features, they have also image search, the voice search, even the visual search. So I have not tried first the visual search, but I think it's something new from Bing search. And aside from that, Google, also, I mean, Bing rather, uh, also has a unique way of introducing users to their platform. And it's more of rewarding you while you are searching. I have not fully utilized that one, but you are going to earn certain points when you search. And I don't know if there's actually a money equivalent at the end, but I'll explore on that some more first. Okay, another search engine that I want to share to you, which I am not sure if many of you who are familiar with this one. I'm pretty sure the math teachers are already aware of this one. So this Wolfram Alpha is actually a computational engines search engine. It's really quite powerful. Any problem, even a word problem, he can answer this one. And that is really something that you might have to be creative, especially with our students that we are now doing online classes. So it is something a little bit of a challenge to us, especially if we're giving them quizzes and specific problem. They can just write the problem here, and then they can actually get the results easily. All right, so again, the power of search, and mind you, Google actually introduced to us in terms of how Google search works. I know some of us may not be aware of it, but there's actually a link for Google's or a page wherein it gives you idea how Google search works, and that is something that we can always refer to people who are not yet well versed with search, so that it would be also, they could also take advantage and maximize the search capability of Google. All right, so again, I just want to emphasize that searching is not only dependent on the search engine that we are using, but it also boils down to us on what we are trying to search. If you want it to be more specific, then we have to be more specific in terms of the keyword that we are trying to look for. And of course, and second to that one would be the Google search operators, which is really handy, and it narrows down our search results. So I hope you're learning so much today. There's actually a lot more that the power of search by Google can introduce to us, but we are uh, running out of time. So thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, you can actually chat them away. And then, yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Larry, for sharing what are the different search engine to use. I think are most of us are using Mr. Google every time we ask or we search, and it was indeed an informative and interesting that you shared to us on how to share or how to search in specific way. As I can see on our chat box, we also have a comments. especially from Ma'am Nelisa Masanke saying, didn't know that there are a lot of useful hacks in Google search. Very fascinating, Sir Larry. Um, for the questions, it will be answered soon after our second speaker. Just type your questions in the comments on Facebook page live or on our chat box or the Q&A chat box on Zoom. To continue with our session, allow me to introduce our second speaker. She is a registered librarian, completed her Doctor of Philosophy in Education major in Administration of Silliman University last 2018. She is also currently take the lead in serving the Silliman community in our online distance learning through its virtual library reference services. Please help me welcome our university librarian, Dr. Myra Intona Villanueva. Yes, ma'am?
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you, Sand. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can
Okay,
hear you.
we'll start. um, this is a great opportunity for us. My fellow librarian is also with me today. To give you the information that aside from Google and the online resources is also can be accessed, can really help um, in the online learning of our students and of course with our teachers. So more than ever this time, library is very should always or should be working with the faculty to make this transition period of learning, of online learning easy. It's easy for them also. So to start, this afternoon, I will be sharing with you there are 4 topics that I'll be sharing with you: the online learning resources, and the open educational resources, and open courseware, and the reference management tool. So for online learning resources, so we have subscription databases, internet or web sources, open access databases, and online educational resources and open courseware. So for subscription databases, so all librarians will agree to me that this is a very challenging resources that we could have in the library, especially today in this pandemic time, because of course, most of our budget in the library was cut. Okay, so this is a subscription. Databases consist of published journals, magazines, reports, documents, newspapers, books, images, and more. Because you can also have others will also have courses, lesson plans that is being now that is being integrated in their databases. But these are subscription based and this is not free. So like examples of what most of our libraries have this, and we need to have a username and password just to access with this information. Database information from these databases. And we have, of course, the ProQuest, Gale Reference, Philippine eJournal, EBSCO, Elsevier, Science Direct, Taylor and Francis, OVED, and so many more pa. And these are very expensive. But then these are peer reviewed, and when it comes to authoritativeness, currency, and the 5 standards or measurement that we could say this is very relevant and accurate to the needs of our clientele. Of course, they can give that, and this is and it goes through with the process. And of course, we also have the internet of our web sources. So Sir Larry has told us how to search and how to narrow our search and to maximize the use of Google. Because yes, information can be retrieved from internet or web sources. So internet sources include websites of businesses, organizations, government agencies, universities, and of course, individual or a personal website. I have samples here, of course. I would like to give you a very specific sample for personal website. Our very own sole director, Dr. Dave Marshall. Of course, in the university, we also have some of our faculty who have their website, but I'm using this the website of Dr. Dave because of my dissertation 2 years ago. And so, of course, in determining the relevancy or the reliability of a personal website, you have to know the person itself. Of course, so we'll talk about it later on how we can determine, on how we can, to know the criteria, to know the criteria of the relevancy and authoritativeness of a certain website, of a certain resources that we need to access. And of course, we have the academic website. So if we know something, if we want to know something about the school and the university, so most of our university right now had already their website. So we can actually go and examine or evaluate or get information from that website. And of course, organization website. Okay, so for most organizations that, of course, they have advocacies. So this is just one of the example for so many organization website that we have in the internet. Okay, so and it also depends on your needs. Of course, if you are a science teacher, you can make use of this C2ES website. And of course, government website. So if we want to know the current and the accurate account of our coronavirus in the Philippines, so you'll go to our very own Philippine government website, and of course our DOH website. So it's not always that will be depend on the Facebook, the information that you can get on the Facebook, but we can also go directly and get accurate information from the government website. And of course, if we have paid, we also have open access. These resources are very, very useful to us, especially to us librarians. Okay, so open access resources are search materials have been made available to general public for free. Data sets, books, articles, including scholarly research articles, open access authors have chosen to share freely so anyone can have the works legally without permission or fees. Okay, so we have authors that they really wanted to share their knowledge, the information that they knew, and they join freely to open access repositories, and that can be accessed by everybody without fees. Okay, so of course, number one in the list, and I know Dr. Craig is very, the recipient of this, or he is using this one, Directory of Open Access Journals. Okay, so DOJ is the online directory and access that provides direct links to all the full text that is joining the this open access journal. So and then they also have they also publish on their website those journals that are joining them. And what good in the DOJ is they just accept all the journals that is peer reviewed. So when it comes to reliability, so it is already peer reviewed. So you'll be assured that the journal that you are offering to the teacher, or the teachers who access the journal from the directory of the open access journal, is assured that it is reliable. And if you have research, or if you want your student to bring in a museum, so this open access for scholarly content is for you. So it is a museum you can watch, or you can bring your students to watch um, the art gallery of this museum. So it is a Metropolitan Museum of Arts. It presents over 500 years of art from around the world for everyone to experience and enjoy. Okay, so this museum lives in two iconic states in New York City, the Met Fifth Avenue and the Met Cloisters. Okay, so if you want to bring your students, or if you are fond of the art gallery or art collection, you can have this open access resources. And of course, the Project Gutenberg. This is very familiar also to us librarians, because if our teacher wanted to access history, especially books on history, okay, so but now they already accept, or they already digitize recent materials or recent books for this project. Okay, so Project Gutenberg is, there's no registration or fee. Everything from Gutenberg is gratis or libre, and completely without cost for readers. If you find this Project Gutenberg useful, however, you can also donate. So I put also the the URL of this open access resources, so that you can right away have a link, or you can right away check if this is really true, if it's really existing. And of course, if you are in the like allied sciences, so you can also use access or open access resources from Pubmed Central. Okay, so it is powered, or it is sustained, maintained by National Center of Biotechnology Information. So it advances science and health by providing access to biomedical and genomic information. So if your teachers, like if, for example, if you have allied sciences offerings in your university, then you can have, or you can check this open access resources, or okay. And I don't know if you are familiar with this open access resources. I am actually using this one. If somebody asks me from the university, and then I will give them the PDF copy of an ebook that they need, this is where I got that ebook. And it is I directly send it to their email. This is the Z library. So if you have, so we are all in the internet, you can try this website, or this open access resources from the Z library, and you can get 2020 edition or copyright of the book. This is good for our librarians, especially in these trying times. And we have CHED visit, or we have accreditation, then you can just download and curate the ebooks that you can get from this open access site. Okay, so you try and you will be amazed. As I was amazed when I used this one. And of course, we also have the open educational resources. So according to UNESCO, uh, open educational resources are teaching, learning, and research materials in any medium, digital or otherwise, print or whatsoever, that reside in the public domain or have been released under an open license that permits no cost access, use, adaptation, and distribution by others with no or limited restrictions. Okay, so aside from the open access journals, ebooks, and whatsoever, we can also have the educational resources. What is the difference between the journal? Of course, you have that published journals, academic journals, scholarly journals. This one are those educational resources that our teachers might need. For example, PowerPoint presentation, lesson plan, and others, images that they wanted to show, wanted to give to their students. Okay, example, of course, we have the OER Commons. It is a dynamic digital library network. Explore open education resources and join our network. And this is very, very, very reliable, because the member of this consortium are all educational institutions, universities, and colleges. So you will be assured that this is reliable. And of course, the next example that I have here is the Community College Consortium for Open Educational Resources. Actually, these are multidisciplinary. So you can the entry is being categorized according to of course to the subject, like for example science, technology. So and then of course we have the open stocks, CNX. Okay, so it is a peer reviewed what is this, OER, open educational resources, and it is openly licensed. I mean, it's like, no, it's free, of course, and backed with additional learning resources. Review are these are the open education resources of textbooks. So if you need or if you want to access textbook, especially in algebra, science, whatever subject you are handling, my dear teacher, there you have it. Basta mag-close na yung library after sa akong talk, ani. No. Mga librarians, the audience, the librarians and that we have here now, maybe they will think na how maybe they will be afraid that I already gave to the teachers our secret, then we can, where we get or we access the information that we supply to them. Okay, so of course we have the Galileo open learning materials. Okay, so of course it is an OER and it is multidisciplinary, and it will give you the materials that you need, from lesson plan, PowerPoint, anything, picture, worksheets, books that you need, it's there. And of course, our very own, and it's just launched last few months ago. Of course, we have the FELCHED Connect. So it is our and the learning resource portal from DepEd. So this is our local OER, and it is still on process, or it is still on the process of development, because they are also inviting other universities and colleges, especially the FELCHED, that they will deposit their educational resources. And if you want to learn something, like if you are ambitious librarian, and then if you feel insecure of the of our current curriculum, and you wanted to learn coding, which I tried, but I really can't learn. You can have here in open courseware. So it is free and open digital publication of highly quality college and university. Open courseware is usually hosted by the very known or very unknown siya na college and university, and they wanted to share what they have. And this is free course. Just name it and you have it, from the art, drawing, something, to coding, to language or whatsoever. Okay, so let's learn. And this is self-directed learning. So self-paced. So if you want to learn coding for 10 years, then you can have it. But if you want to learn coding in 1 week, then you can have it. Of course, we have the edX. I know everybody knows what's inside the edX. Of course, it is free, and any courses that you want to learn, you can have it in edX, of course. So it is a trusted platform, and for educational and learning. It is founded by Harvard and MIT. So see, your certificate will have Harvard and MIT. So you're something that you can finish your course from edX. Okay, so it is a home of more than 20 million learners. The majority of the top-ranked university in the world and industry leading companies is also subscribing, are also using their materials for their faculty and staff. And of course, the Microsoft Learn. Okay, so the former name of Microsoft Learn is the Microsoft Academy. So it is more on computer science, so programming, mga ganun siya. So you can access courses from there if you want to continue learning. And if you want to be a multilingual, so this actually, the Duolingo is an app, and but then you can learn the format or the system. It's really working according to your pace. So if you are fast learner to this certain language, so the apps can actually adjust, or can give you the pace that you have. And of course, we have also the Open Yale courses and the Merlot. So these are the, of course, known universities in the world. So they are also offering courses, open courses. And of course, Purple Map. Well, if you are a math teacher, if you're trying to help your children, so you can also use or access the Purple Math. Actually, the proponent or the creator of the Purple Math is also is a mother. Okay, so it says in the description of the Purple Math, it's begun in the 1998 as a personal website created by Elizabeth Staple. Okay, so its initial site included course-specific materials for her math students. Okay, so it started there, and now it has already a big number of enrollees, and it has already served the community. Bakit half siya? The draw space. Bakit nag-half? Okay, so draw space. So if you are frustrated, or if you are inclined into drawing or whatsoever, from basic to advanced, then this is the site for you. Bakit siya Nag-half lang. Okay, sige lang. I'll anyway, this presentation, our presentation, I think, will be given to you. So it will give you the link. And of course, the Code Academy. So that's where that's what I'm telling you a while ago, that if you want to know coding, so you can have here in the Code Academy. And Khan Academy. Bakit di siya mag-load ng buo? Okay. Ang Khan Academy is actually is we have here in the university, we have our AC American Corner, and it is funded by U.S. Embassy Manila. When we have our course or MOOC, they really refer Khan Academy, that we will get the MOOC or the course that we want for, or we need to use for the AC for American Corner. We will get it from Khan Academy, from language, English language development, from basic to advanced, coding, science. There is multidisciplinary po yung Khan Academy din po. Okay, so of course, if it is free, we are not assured of its reliability. So it's our work, and of course, if it is subscription kasi, we are assured that it is pre-reviewed, and it is we are assured that it is reliable. But then if it is open access, of course, there are so many bright people in the world, and as instead of helping us making life of our teachers and our students easy and providing them the right materials, there are really person that they really wanted to spread otherwise the bad thing on them. So to make sure that we are serving our client, and we are accessing the correct journal that is not predatory, and it is not published also by a predatory publisher. So if you are familiar with Jeffrey Bill, so he is a librarian, and he has this study in his dissertation last January 2015. Okay, so he made a criteria in determining predatory journals and publisher. Okay, so we have to know that it is predatory. So we'll start with the editor and staff. Okay, so he lined up descriptions and qualifications of editors, and to determine if it is predatory or not. So of course, we have if the publisher's owner is identified as editor of each and every journal published by the organization. No single individual is identified as any specific journal's editor. So, but if you have the journal, and if you have you have the team, may editorial review board yan, may editorial team yan. So, and then it depends on the issue, theme of the issue also. For example, if your journal is multidisciplinary, so if this issue will deal or will bring more on sciences, so of course your team, editorial team, must also qualified, or must also a science teacher or graduate of a science degree or whatsoever. Okay. Then evidence exists showing that the editor or review board members do not possess academic expertise for reasonably qualify them for publication. Of course, if it is on science, then you saw my name there. Like I subscribe academia. Then I have, of course, when you subscribe, you'll be asked if all if all the identified name will be credited to you. So of course, I will put ME Villanueva or M Villanueva or MEV. So in all my surprise, when I received communication from academia that a certain I have related or I have same related with review uploaded on biotechnology. So magwonder ko. Of course, magwonder pod mo. Biotechnology, that is far from my expertise. My goodness. Kahit coding, I really don't know about it. So, yun. So, yung expertise, the qualification of the editorial board, of course, it really matters. No? Okay, so, and of course, the journals have insufficient number of board members. Mainan siya. So these are the, actually dami. Okay, so ano pa? But geographical diversity among the editorial board members. They claim that it is international on coverage, but then the editorial board is only from the Philippines. So international na siya. So or they okay, so business management. So how we will know that it is predatory? So the publisher demonstrate lack of transparency in publishing operation, has no policies or practices of for balang they are not transparent in all their system, in all their transactions. So you have to think twice. Now with this open access journals or open access materials. And of course, insufficient information or hides information about author fees, offering to publish an author's paper and later sending you of anticipated surprise invoice. So I experienced this during my PLY presentation. Of course, we forwarded our presentation to the PLY, Philippine Library Association Incorporated, our national organization or national organization of of librarians. So when I send it to them, so I suddenly received several offerings from nowhere, and then offering me to publish my publication. How can you publish my publication? Sorry. How you can publish my presentation? It is in the PowerPoint format. So ganun siya. So hindi na ako siya gin-entertain. So and then does not allow search engines to crawl the published content. Kasi malalaman yon if na-upload na kasi this is digital format. So pag in-upload na siya, then you can check the reliability of the information. So lock siya. Hindi siya pwede ma-touch. Untouchable siya. Okay? So, and very what's this? And very pertinent na criteria to know if it is predatory or what or not is the journal's name or the title is incongruent with the journal's mission. So self-explanatory. Bali, the title is teaching learning journals, then the content is about COVID-19. Parang ino siya. Okay lang if it is COVID-19, how we can teach COVID-19 or educate our children on COVID-19, but it's really other out of the topic or out of the coverage siya. Okay, and of course, if the journal does not adequately reflect its origin, you have to think twice na din siya. Okay, so other issues. Okay, so republished papers already published and other avenues or outlets without providing appropriate credits. Use boastful language claiming to be the leading publisher. So yun, it's really we need really to screen, or we really need to evaluate, because of the information. That's where librarians comes in. So this must be our role, especially today. So before getting, or before giving the the materials to our teachers and our students, especially if we get that from a certain open access repository, we really need to evaluate them. Okay, so of course, the address, the information that is written on the journal. Okay, so it's really not the correct address or information of the office of the journal. Okay, so this one is the criteria in evaluating online resources. Kanina, what I've given you is the criteria to determining the predatory journal and publisher. Here, how we will know that what we will give to our client is really, number one, of course, authority and authoritativeness. Of course, the author. Okay, so the credentials of the author, the education, of course, the qualification, I mean, professional affiliations, and of course, the experience. And of course, you have to have the note or the paragraph in the book's back or the jacket short. Okay, so it's describing the author's credentials. Diba? If you are proud of what you produce, you will always give the correct information about yourself. So the person who publish or write that publication or that article is really in authority. Okay, so this is a reference question in our reference subject. Okay, so is the author really willing, or really have the address information or profile niya? Okay, so if you happen to see, I don't know if some of you had already opened the website of Dr. Dave. Lahat doon including the address niya, it's there. Affiliation, yun ba? It's transparent. Okay, because if you are proud of your, as what I've said, if you're proud of your publication, you will really put your information there, because that is also creating a network. So if, for example, if a certain author also is wanted to communicate with you because he or she wanted to access with your publication, then she or he can also communicate with you directly. So that is also koan. Then accuracy and quality. Okay, so is the information in the article is specific, provided a specific, or if it is multidisciplinary, of course, it is understandable that the journal, of course, carries different subjects. But there are scholarly journals that is really specific for a certain a group of researcher. For example, the SINAL and the OVED, that is for allied sciences. Okay, so in all cases, all information should be verifiable. Yun. Because information of the author, information of the company or the affiliation of a certain author is there. So it is written in the article. So that you can, or anyone that wanted to communicate with the author can communicate with him or her. Our methods of specific research explain in such a way that it could be reproduced. Okay, so clear siya, diba? Ang methodology, it is qualitative, quantitative. What are the being used for the research to have it to produce certain materials. Okay, our sources of information listed in foot end notes, bibliographies, or list of references. How reliable are the cited sources? So this is also one thing that we should consider, because if this is reliable, so it will give the references. Okay, so it will, and it is properly cited. Yes, again, copy paste. Are critical reviews available? Okay, so yun, mga reviews. So some companies, kasi if it is subscribe siya or it is paid na materials, usually the company really asks for a review. But then can open access siya, so it is sometimes it's not available. But then you can also get an information, or you can also directly ask for the reviews from the author, from the other person or other researcher who make use of a certain article. Objectivity, of course. So authors are often has their own agendas. Okay, for example, to sell products and influence legislation or capture converts. There probably is no absolute objectivity upon which everyone could agree. Okay, so when using any information resources, you must decide whether the information is sufficiently objective for your purpose, or whether it is biased. So it is your own judgment when you read the information, if it is objectively comply to the information that you need or not. Okay, so yun. Is there any advertising or solicitation for donation associated with the source? This financial support may skew the subject coverage of the publications. Okay. But maybe sometimes what I've seen in the free of in the open access educational resources, journals, or whatsoever, they really state that it is free. However, to maintain, to sustain for the digitization of the materials and whatsoever, so we need, or if you want to donate, but they are not forced. Okay, so but you are not forced to donate, but you can access their information. Okay, so currency, of course, this is very important, but it depends on the information that our client, that our teachers needs, because there are also information that the older the materials is, it is more valuable. Example, the history. Okay, if if the one asked you for the information and is the history teacher, so the older the materials, the better, diba? If it is a science or computer teacher, don't give them 1970s or so they really need the current one, the 2020s or 5 years up na copyright date. Okay. Okay, so consider whether or not the timeliness of the information, okay, so will affect the information, what I've said. With this really history, the older the information, the better. Okay, so of course, you have to the coverage of the information of a certain materials. If it is really covers the topic that you need, then you can have it. It's really, well, of course, you will be the one to use the materials. Jeffrey Bill here is trying to give us just a standard or a measurement or a criteria. This is not the criteria to determine if it is really reliable, the materials is really reliable, or the online resources that we are using is really reliable. Thus, the information source leave questions unanswered, so you have to look for that. If it is not complete, so better look for another source. Okay, last topic. We have, of course, we have so many, and we have a flood of information in the internet. Okay, so if you've seen a while ago, Sir Larry has given us the means and the way to narrowing our information search. Okay, so and then we also have to know on how to organize our research materials. So this is where reference management tool comes in. So, and we have a lot. Okay, so I only use some of this material, some of this reference material management tool. I'm using Mendeley, the rest, hindi na. Okay. So the Mendeley, of course, you can organize your research materials here. You can upload actually your paper. Then you can create a network out of this app or out of this reference manager. Then if you are going to, if you are starting writing your paper, actually, it is easy to manage, or it's easy to, especially in the citation area or on the reference or listings or references, so you can have it, the Mendeley. And then, of course, we have the EasyBib. Okay, so the EasyBib, I am not using this one. Okay, so I will give you at least background of this reference management tool. Okay, so it is an information literacy platform that provides citation, note-taking, and research tools that are easy to use for education. Okay, EasyBib is not only accurate, fast, and comprehensive, but helps educators teach and students learn how to become effective and organized researcher. Okay, so you try. Zotero. Okay. Saan na ang Zotero ko? And of course, we have the MS Word. Okay, so if you happen to discover the reference capabilities of MS Word, there you can also organize your reference materials. So you can also make use of, diba, all of us, or our teachers or the researchers, they usually use MS Word to start the research, or to start their paper. So you can have, or you can make use of the reference icon, or what's this, part of the MS Word to organize your bibliography or references, and for the citation purposes. Okay, Cywell. Okay, so it is a reference management tool. You have also it is partly it is free, but then if you want to access some of their services, then you can have the premium. Okay, so it gives you online reference manager, unlimited references, instantly save and annotate articles online, find and cite reference in Microsoft Word and Google Docs. Access your references and PDFs from any device, and easy collaboration with co-author. And we have the Red Cube. Okay, so the Red Cube is reference management for researchers. Okay, so papers helps, or the Red Cubes helps you collect and curate the research materials that you're passionate about. Okay, so it is a good reference management tool for the libraries, of course. So because it offers web, desktop, and mobile reference management apps designed to dramatically improve the way researchers find, access, organize, read, and share, and cite research literature. So This research materials, of course, if we have vast information, online resources available on the web, we need also to organize them. Or else, after a few years of collecting of whatsoever the materials that you can get, that you'll get from the internet, if you don't know how to organize them, then it is difficult to retrieve and to start with your paper. Okay, so and there is more. Okay, so um, last na, last. So actually, I was amazed. I just discovered this just this morning. So I really wanted to share this with you. This online resources is produced by PBIS. It is Positive Behavioral Intervention and Support. I don't know if I can open this up. I'm trying to open the website. Um, this is a very good online learning resources because here, look at this. Updated last July 2020. And if you want to have learning resources on math, here you are. Then you have the description. Then you have the link on the other side. Then there are 39 materials for math. Reading, you have there. Grammar, you have science, history, social studies, technology, and physical education. So I just want to stress this physical is uh, physical education because offering the online learning, and it is physical education. This is diba challenging siya. But then these materials here can really give an idea or reference to our teachers on how to engage our student online, and many more: music, art, life skills, foreign language. Oh, yeah, may virtual field trips pa. If you're bored and your students are bored, then you can get one of the virtual field trips here. Then you can post in your My Soul learning management system. Oh, yeah, dami nila. Okay, I think time is up. Thank you very much. I'm willing and I'm ready to answer if you have your question and clarification regarding the topic that I discussed this afternoon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Myra Villanueva, for sharing your secrets, especially the library website. Wow, it is indeed informative and knowledgeable, helpful, and educative that our speakers shared to us today. All right. Thank you very much once again, Professor Larry Regencia and Dr. Myra Villanueva. So now we are going to begin answering the questions which we will be found on our chat box. Is there any questions to our participants or to our Facebook Live comments? Everyone, how are you? How is the topic? So far, we have lots of comments here saying that it is a very informative and interesting topic, which indeed it is. Wow. Anyone? You can type also to our Q&A box on Zoom.
I'll just read a question from Sir Elmar Girasul so that the others would be able to hear it as well. Uh, is there also a search option tool that can help us to avoid retrieving fake data or information? Actually, fake data or information is something that any website or even search engines are trying to fight against. And one thing I can suggest is to avoid retrieving fake information is to avoid unfamiliar sites. That's the first thing. And any online information may also contain sources, and those sources is one way for you to validate. Now, there's a link that I have shared. I hope this could also help you. But in terms of a tool, not everyone, not all websites or social media platforms has this tool. Currently, most of the way of eradicating them fake data or information is actually manual removal of those posts. So in terms of search engines, Google I think has a way of doing its indices rather in terms of the websites that are being logged to their system. And they have a fact checker tool, but in terms of other tools that specifically try to get rid of fake data or information, I have not known any yet. But the link that I will share to you, I
Search
hope this would
option.
be able to help you. Yeah, I'll post it on the chat. Hopefully this would be a good source for everyone. Yeah, so far fake data or information is something that almost all big companies are fighting against.
PB.
All right. I think Ma'am Viola have a request here, sir. Saying, can you give us a tutor about any of the stuff you presented? Is it okay?
Kanino yan address? Kay Sir Larry? Si Sir Larry?
I think for both of you, ma'am and sir. So, yeah.
Sa akin pala. Yes, Doc, we will, I'll collaborate with your office. Dr. Viola is our director of our Office of Instruction. And we're quite collaborating with each other now. Sige, Doc. Opo, opo.
All right. So, anyone? And a question here. Uh, question from, okay. Okay, we are going to announce the certificates soon, Ma'am Lucilla. Ma'am Lucilla. Yes.
Walay question siguro. You don't have question because they're very busy accessing now the Z library.
I think you're trying it right now, ma'am. Yes. Actually, some like there is a comment that she already tried the URL that you gave it to them, that you
Thank you.
shared your
Really.
secret
Um,
URL website.
mhm.
Okay, I think we have question here from anonymous attendees. Is there a specified way of citing links on site from the internet, especially if you want to use it as a reference for your class? The purpose is to give proper credit to the information source.
Of course, of course. It depends on your university if you are using what format, your style of reference, reference citation that you are using. You can use the MLA, APA, whatsoever you want. So if you are a researcher and you want to have an accurate citation and uh, um, what's this organizing your reference, Of course, if you are using MS Word, you can use the reference part of, or you can refer a feature of MS Word. And of course, each reference management tool has its unique feature. So it's really it's really necessary to know what is really convenient for you, because we have so many in available, and it is free. So it's up really to you to know your needs and your capability of using the reference management tool.
Okay, I think that was well answered, ma'am. So here, all right. I think there's no questions anymore, even from our Facebook Live. No questions. So I think in 5 seconds, no more questions, right? All right. So we go with our next slides, which will be our presenting our certificate of recognition. Allow me to read the citation. From Silliman University and Dr. Mariano Lau Free Computer Education Program present this certificate of recognition to Assistant Professor Larry Regencia for sharing his valuable knowledge as a guest speaker during the 9th series of Dr. Mariano Lau webinar series with the topic Using Search Engines More Effectively, which was held on 5th of September 2020 via Zoom online, signed by Dr. Dave E. Marshall, the project leader of Dr. Mariano Lau ICI Laboratory and the director of Silliman Online University Learning. The same citation also presents to Dr. Myra Villanueva. Thank you very much, ma'am and sir, for this
Thank you.
indeed, yes, fruitful webinar sharing and session.
Thank you.
Okay, for our announcement. So for our next session is the 10th series of Dr. Mariano Lau webinar series on online distance teaching learning, which will focus on tips in making your own instructional videos and images. On September 12, 2020, the same time at 2 to 4:30 p.m. via Zoom online. So we hope to see you soon and more participants come. All right, for our participants, please don't forget to fill out the survey form once the session will end. There will be form automatically sent to you, so please fill it out so that you will be able to get your certificate of participation as well. Okay, is there any last message, Dr. Dave, before we will end our session?
Okay. Once again, joining, and I hope to see you by the next time, and I hope to learn with you more as we journey into our new normal of teaching and learning. And we hope that what we had this couple of hours ago, we learn from it, because as we go along into our new normal of teaching and learning, search engines, open educational resources are actually among the many most important tools nowadays, especially that we are in the online mode of delivery. So once again, thank you for coming, and we hope to see you next Saturday.
Okay. Thank you once again, Dr. Myra and Professor Larry, special also to Dr. Mariano Lau for having this webinar session. And thank you also, Dr. Dave, for this or for organizing this session. Again, this has been your host, Cindy Ruth Villariza, signing off. And thank you for joining us today. And have the great rest of your day. And God bless us all. Thank you.